Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Fair Play Politics. My name is Junior. I'm really glad to have y'all here. Today I wanted to make a video in regards to why our politicians don't represent us. What I mean is that many times there might be consensus amongst Americans or we want a specific law to change, but something that causes it not to change is our politicians that are supposed to represent us in the office. They'll either vote against it or they won't even put it up for a vote. So the question that should be asked is, what is causing this? What is leading to this disconnect between the people and their representatives, the politicians? And I bet you could probably guess what is causing it. It's the money. Politicians have to raise hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars every election cycle to be able to run a functioning campaign, to have enough money to travel to different parts of their districts or different parts of their states, hire volunteers, hire people that are going to call people to get them out to vote, also hire pollsters, have people to poll for them. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into American politics and campaigning in America. It's a very expensive thing to make happen. It's very expensive, which makes sense why a lot of our politicians reach out to people to give them money. So most of our politicians, not all, but most of our politicians receive a lot of corporate funding for their campaigns coming from different kind of corporations, different industries, big individual donors, or super PACs that may donate millions of dollars to them for their campaigns. And as a result, it leads our politicians to not so much help out the people, but rather help out their corporate donors. Just due to the fact that people like us, ordinary people like me and you, it's not really possible for us to donate such large amounts of money. We could possibly donate like $10 or $20, but donating thousands of dollars to millions of dollars to different campaigns is pretty difficult. There's a reason that we're not adequately represented in Congress and in the government, just due to the fact that we don't donate as much money. That's pretty much it. The politicians have to decide whether to serve their constituents that put them in power or represent those that gave them money to run for that office. As you can see, majority of the time, they represent the powers that be that gave them the money to run for that office over the people, and we end up not getting our policies that we support put into place. And what ends up being put into place is the policies that the donor class supports. The industries and different groups will donate to the politicians, and they'll be expecting a return on their investment. Similar to how when us citizens vote for a politician, we expect them to represent us. The corporations, big individuals, will be expecting a return on their own investment as well. If you don't want to take my word for it, it's fine. I have two pretty good examples for you that have happened in the last 3 years. First example comes from a 2019 bill that Democrats in the House of Representatives proposed that would require anybody that's trying to obtain a firearm to go through a federal background check, which essentially just they're going to get their record checked, make sure they're not a criminal, or make sure they don't have a felony, they don't have mental illnesses that may compromise their ability to obtain this gun and handle it properly. The fairly simple things like that. By the way, a Quinnipiac poll that was conducted in 2019 found that 92% of Americans supported requiring background checks for all gun buyers, with Republican voters supporting the idea 89% of the time, and Democrats supported it 95% of the time, which means 9 out of 10 of Americans supported this bill. Why did it not pass? So in the democratically controlled House of Representatives, 240 of them voted in favor of the bill and 192 voted against the bill. Surprisingly, 8 Republicans joined the Democrats and voted in favor of the bill, while 182 of them voted against the bill, and also like 2 Democrats voted against the bill as well, which is a little shocking. Okay, so it's 2020 now and the bill still hasn't been passed. Well, why is that? The way the American system of government is, we have to have a bill approved on both sides, both the House of Representatives and the Senate. So the Democrats control the House, Republicans control the Senate. So Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell refused to allow the bill to come up for a vote in the Senate. And it's been over a year now. He still has not allowed the bill to come up for a vote in the Republican-controlled Senate. So what is causing Mitch McConnell to go against 89% of Republicans that support the bill? Republican voters support the bill overwhelmingly, so why is Mitch McConnell not allowing this to come up for a vote? So we have to check the money! See, all you gotta do is just check the money, see where they're getting their funding from. And when we check that, we can see that Mitch McConnell has received over $1.2 million from the gun lobby over the course of his career. So $1.2 million he's received. But wait, there's more! That's pretty modest when it comes to Republican politicians and the money that they've received from the gun lobby. Mitch McConnell was only number 18 whenever they ranked Republican politicians in accordance to how much they received from the gun rights lobby. So 17 other Republicans received much more money from the gun rights lobby than he did, which makes sense to why he wouldn't even let it come up for a vote, because he didn't want to embarrass his party, because they were going to vote against federally mandated background checks that 90% of Republicans support. A second example comes from 2017, and Senator Bernie Sanders proposed a bill that would allow Americans to purchase pharmaceutical drugs from Canada, since they're cheaper in Canada. Currently, it's against the law to do so, so he was trying to change the law and allow us to be able to do that. 72% of Americans were in favor of drug importation from other countries at the time as well. Even Donald Trump supported allowing us to import drugs from Canada since they were cheaper and would lower the cost for American consumers. It also raise competition, which would lower the price altogether. However, the bill was voted down 52 against, 46 in favor in the Senate, with 13 Republicans voting alongside Democrats in support of the bill. So 13 Republicans joined 33 Democrats to vote in favor of the bill. However, what was shocking is that 13 Democrats voted against the bill, joining the 39 Republicans that voted against it as well, which was really truly shocking because the Democratic Party always preaches this idea of looking out for the consumer, making things more equitable and fair. So it was very shocking to see 13 Democrats go against their ideology that we claim to have. Keep in mind, I am a very progressive Democrat, so I'm just being transparent and I'm just telling you how it is. So we wonder what caused these 13 Democrats to vote against a bill that seemed like the layup, something that Democrats would normally support in any other time, or like we nominally support lowering drug prices and helping consumers, helping people afford things and making it cheaper for them. What made them go against their ideology? And as you guessed, it's the money. During the election cycle of 2016, keep in mind this happened in 2017, the previous election cycle was 2016, Democratic politicians received over $13 million from the pharmaceutical industry during their campaign, while Republican politicians received over $16 million in pharmaceutical industry donations to their campaigns. And this is for Democrats and Republicans both in the House and the Senate, which are the two chambers in the Congress. So that shows why many Democrats voted against the bill. They didn't want to piss off their corporate donors from the pharmaceutical industry, which is the industry that donates to most of politicians, which is why we don't have much change when it comes to lowering drug prices and reforming the healthcare system. You see why nothing changes in Congress, changes in the government? Because our politicians are bought out by corporations, bought out by lobbyists, so everything remains the same on both sides of the aisle. Keep in mind, I am a progressive Democrat. I will say that. I will say my bias. But on the Democratic aisle and the Republican aisle, both sides are compromised by those that fundraise their campaigns, which is why first thing we need to do, we need to stop voting for politicians that take corporate funding and money from corporations. If they're not taking money from people like me and you, small dollar donors, don't vote for them, because they're gonna have to be accountable to those that put them into power, which are the fundraisers that gave them all their money. So that's the problem. The second thing, we need to vote those guys out. We need to actually vote and remove these guys. It's one thing to say we're not going to vote for the corrupt politicians, but we need to vote for the ones that aren't corrupt and do our research and know who's good and who's not. So we need to actually get to voting, do our research on and see where the money is coming from. And there's a website called Open Secrets where you can find out who's funding your politicians. Are they actually taking money from people like me and you, or are they taking money from different corporations? You can find out. It's called Open Secrets. I'll put a link in the description. Thank you guys for watching my video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I just hope that y'all learned something today. I have more stuff coming out to educate you guys and just show y'all some more about politics and what's actually going on in the world. So thank you so much. Also, comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter at CallMeJRE, and we can have some discussion, dialogue over politics, world events, whatever you like to speak about. So thank you, y'all. Y'all take care and God bless.